Hey everybody, Zack Hample here with 2 hours and 45 minutes of sleep. Do I look dead? Anyway, that was my friend Jen driving us down to Philadelphia. Now, here we are approaching the stadium, and here's Jen for you. Yeah, that's Jen being Jen, but we were both really excited to be here, and I was specifically here because Jen's husband, the famous Benny Bang Bang, was helping to run a summer program for teens, taking them to all different baseball stadiums, and he invited me to come down from New York to see all these kids who did not know that I was going to be here. So our intention was to surprise them, and look what happened when they all showed up.
I watch all your videos. Oh my god. What's up? Take a photo. Yo, please. Wait, Benny? Zack! What are you doing here? Yo, it's Benny.
Oh my gosh, Ben?
What?
Oh, this is so weird!
And wait, you want to talk about weird? Well, check out this shirt that Benny was wearing. If you know, you know. Anyway, there was lots of time before the gates opened, so I was hanging with the kids, taking selfies, signing autographs, chatting with them. Really a great bunch of guys, and some of them had been watching me for a while.
I've been following you since like 2020.
Meanwhile, if you're wondering if the kids were indeed surprised, well, check this out.
So did you guys know I was going to be here? No.
We thought we were going. I thought
We successfully surprised them.
Now, one thing the kids kept asking me about was advice on catching baseballs. So I was offering lots of tips and strategies, and listen to this.
But you got to be ready for it, because you never know. You never know.
I've never gotten one ball in this whole trip. What's your advice to me?
I've got. Where's your glove?
Where's your glove?
Oh, the guy with no glove wants advice on how to catch his first ball. Well, I think you know the answer to that.
But hey, don't feel bad for that kid. His name is Luke, and you will see him later in the video. So, keep watching. And by the way, all these kids, this camp trip, this summer program, it's called West Coast Connection. We took a group photo before the stadium opened, and then it was off to the races for BP. I didn't even know that Jen was running behind me filming, so I was filming it myself. But look what happened right here. Someone hit a home run into the seats, and I was very, very happy to get it.
On the board, how about that? Didn't even have my glove out.
And there was more action after that, but unfortunately not for me, not for a while. But look at this guy in the red shirt drifting down the stairs and reaching up and, holding on for the catch. So nice job by him, but unfortunately that was the end of batting practice. The Phillies hit for exactly 5 minutes after the gates opened, which was so frustrating. So then the Reds came out and they were doing whatever it is that they were doing, which included playing catch with a football for this guy. That was kind of fun to see. And then after that, the pitchers started playing catch with actual baseballs. Hey, what a concept. And by the way, I did not have a videographer at this game. Jen got that shot right there, and any shots that you see of me, Jen filmed. I was just here to hang out. I came down to Philly as a favor, mainly for Benny, but also for the kids, and to spend 4 hours with Jen in the car round trip. So I wasn't even sure that I was going to do a video, but I grabbed a bunch of shots throughout the day in case I did end up wanting to put something together. So that explains that. And by the way, I did not get paid by the camp. This was, again, like I said, just a favor. So over here by the Reds bullpen, just a lot of standing around and not much action, so no chance for me to get a toss-up. And I just have to say, this stadium is gorgeous. Truly, always a pleasure to be here, although perhaps less so for, that guy who failed to make the catch barehanded. Come on, guy, what are you doing? No glove, no love. Even my mom knows that. And so the Reds got started with BP soon after. I still had the hoodie on, which I know looks stupid, but I wanted to keep the sun off my skin. And look at this, I got a baseball. It was a home run on the fly. Jen did not get a shot of it, but she did film this. And I gotta show you again in slow motion, because right here in the Sabo jersey, that is Benny Bang Bang, her husband, slightly getting bumped by the guy in the white shirt and missing that baseball. And I just gotta do another freeze frame right here because, just look at that face. That is not a happy man right there. Meanwhile, I was pretty happy grooving right here to Taylor Swift. But in retrospect, I should have had my head in the game because I went for this home run and experienced a comedy of errors. This was so bad and stupid, and I gotta show you once again in slow motion what happened. First of all, this guy, and I'm not blaming him, but he reached up and deflected the ball right here, And so that made me miss it just slightly, but then it ricocheted up off the seats, and I waved my hands at it and barely missed by like an inch, and then it bounced up again, and I swiped at it with my glove and shoveled it right to that guy in the green shirt, and then I still missed again with my bare hand. So you know what? Good for those guys. They were happy. I'm happy for them. But I felt idiotic at this point, and then look what happened right after. Yep, home run right over my head, so that also did not feel great. And that was the end of batting practice, so not exactly the best way to close things out, but it happened. So while Benny was in the sun wiping sweat off his noggin, I was sitting in the shade, hanging out with some fans, and then I headed out of the section with my friends to go find some food. So I got the burnt ends cheesesteak, which came highly recommended, and I needed this to be good because I was so hungry.
This is going to be a mess.
Oh. Hashtag not decided.
Huge thanks to Benny for buying all my food and for putting up with my antics, as usual. He and I had a few more minutes to hang out before I headed down to my seat in left center field for the start of the game. And just look how crowded it was, as usual, more than 42,000 fans in attendance. And look at how the top of the first inning ended. Newsflash, the Phillies are good. It's no wonder this place is always packed. I was excited for Bryce Harper, hoping he'd send a home run flying in my direction, but he unfortunately struck out. And by the way, if you're wondering where Benny was with all the kids, well, I texted him and asked him to send me a video from their seats. And this is what he replied with, a nice pano from the upper deck. He invited me to sit with them, but figured I'd want to be in the outfield on the 100 level, doing my thing and trying to catch a dinger. So yeah, that's what I did. And for now, I will shut up for a bit and let you enjoy some of the sights and sounds from Citizens Bank Park.
Second baseman, Matt Hinsley.
I mean, if not, try to push him back right now.
Oh, we're so sad.
All right, check out Otto Kemp, the Phillies left fielder. I'm going to freeze it right here because I started filming late. He caught the third out to end the top of the sixth. Little slow-mo because this guy in the circle jumping up and making the catch, that's my buddy Derek. Just wanted to get him in the video. And got to show Alec Boehm going yard right here. Shout out to this young man named Seth. He was cool. I was just getting some scenic shots right here. Again, just such a gorgeous venue. Now, this security guard was pondering the meaning of life, and I was pondering the fact that time was running out. But you know what? Don't let those scenic shots fool you into thinking that this was some kind of snooze fest. Oh no, the crowd was hyped because the first place Phillies were winning 3-1 at this point in the 8th inning, and then bottom of the 8th, Kyle Schwarber at bat, Brent Suter on the mound. We're gonna slow it down, and boom goes the dynamite. Yeah, that was a Schwarber bomb heading in my direction, and let's just freeze it right here because based on where the camera's pointing, you might think that the ball's gonna land here, but in fact, it landed here on my staircase. And by the way, I had removed my hoodie, so look for the red t-shirt. And so, you can see how it played out with that ball ending up in my glove. Now, Brent Suter was not happy, and as Schwarber rounded the bases, guess who was happy? Me, celebrating like a madman. And that right there is Jen's phone, so I'll show you the footage that she got in just a moment. But first, let's take another look at this perfect swing. Kyle Schwarber, I love you. And here's a closer look. I'll freeze it. That's me right there. Kind of hard to see. I know it's small, it's pixelated, but I made the catch, just reaching a little higher than a few other grown-ups who were not wearing gloves. Pretty easy, really, and here's Jen's footage.
My biggest fan in the stadium. Ew, you're sweaty.
So sweaty.
So yeah, Benny had raced down from the upper deck as soon as he saw me catch that ball, and meanwhile fans were coming up to me to take pics and say congrats. So here's a close-up of the ball, and Benny had quite a story to tell.
One of the kids said to me, has Zack caught any of the home runs? I said no. We turned and watched, and the next pitch, Zack caught a home run. I swear to God.
The next pitch?
The next pitch, Aiden Cohen.
All right,
You
Aiden.
predicted it.
So that's pretty fun, right? Anyway, 1 out, top of the 9th. Tyler Stevenson struck out right here. So 1 out to go at this point, and I gotta share something random. Earlier in the day, I took this ridiculous photo with Jen, and look where it ended up, on my brand new really stupid Insta called Zack Borrowing Hair. The colors look screwy in this screen recording for some reason, but it's perfect on Insta, so check it out. Throw me a follow. If you have enough hair, let's take a pic together, track me down at a game, and let's just have some fun with it. Wanted to give myself that plug. Last out of the game right here, Matt McLean pop up to Trey Turner at short, who squeezes it, and that was it. So 5-1, that was your final. There were 4 home runs in the game. Will Benson, Edmundo Sosa, shout out to my friend Derek here, by the way, Alec Boehm, and of course, Mr. Schwarber. Bryce Harper, by the way, went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Yikes. Ranger Suarez, the Philly starter, got a no decision despite allowing just 1 run in 5 innings to lower his ERA for the season to 1.99. So lots of fans were coming up to me after the game. That's always fun, and it was nice to be able to show everybody the home run ball. And as for that home run, well, it was Schwarber's 27th of the season and 311th of his career. It was my 105th lifetime game home run ball that I've snagged, and this was my first one in Philly since 2019 when I caught a dinger hit by Bryce Harper. For the record, Benny is the best. And I still had a little unfinished business to conduct at the stadium. I wanted to catch up with all the kids again and listen to this right here.
So I said, did Zack get a home run ball? And the next pitch, Schwarber hit the home run.
I was like, please have Zack catch it.
And let's not forget our man Luke. Jen and I had actually cooked up a plan.
What did you ask Zack?
How to catch a baseball.
And what did he say?
And he says the kid that doesn't have a glove.
Well, sometimes the best plan is not having a plan. So here's a ball from BP for you.
Now I still had one more BP ball at this point, so I handed it to this young man named Jonah, and then we all said goodbye to YouTube. I took one final look at the stadium. Always love it when the seats are totally empty, whether it's at the very start or end of the day, but I really had to go at this point. 12,843 lifetime baseballs, and then it was Benny, one final time.
Congratulations!
Thank you for inviting me and paying for my ticket. Love you.
Love you too.
And I love you guys as well. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. And
Zack Hample. Freeze and score. It's Zack Hample.
yes. Goodbye, everybody.
For the kids.